Certain aspects of human life are simply given. There's really no way around them. Unfortunately, prominent among those aspects is the inevitability of suffering. As C-3PO says to R2-D2 in the first Star Wars film, we are born to suffer. It's our lot in life. While hearing these words come from a golden-colored robot generally brings a smile to folks' faces, the reality behind these words is not humorous at all. Indeed, it is quite troubling for most of us, and it has been for about as long as we have written records of human reflection. In the Western tradition, the question of suffering, particularly the suffering of the innocent, early on finds voice in the book of Job, a snippet of which we heard this morning. You know the story. Job, an innocent, righteous man, loses everything. And with the help of several friends, tries to puzzle out why bad things happen to good people. The suffering of the righteous is unearned, claims Psalm 17. And God should rise up and strike down those responsible for the attacks on the good. Even in our reading from the Gospel of Luke, one wonders how much suffering the poor wife of 7 endured. Not again! Why me? You can always hear her cry. In the Eastern traditions, Buddhism is built on the assumption of suffering and its inevitability, and how best to deal with that reality. But the question of suffering, especially of the innocents, is not simply an ancient one which was answered then. The events of September 11th, hurricanes, school shootings, fires in California, horrors experienced by refugees or immigrants. Why do humans suffer? Or more particularly and poignantly, why do innocent shopkeepers, office workers, vacationers, public safety personnel, homeowners, children, why do they suffer? As the question has been asked for thousands of years, so have there been numerous answers. Among the most hopeless, at least from a human standpoint, is the belief that humans are simply pawns in some cosmic battle between a good God and an evil counterpart. Try as we might, there's little we can do. We're pushed around as greater powers seek the upper hand. This scenario is found in several religious traditions, including some versions of Christianity. The only hope is located in a faith claim that at the end, good will win, and those who clung to the good will receive their reward. Even more hopeless is the belief, also found throughout human history, that God is entirely arbitrary. Don't even bother to ask the question. God doesn't care or doesn't exist. We're simply left to our own devices or to those of an impersonal fate. And don't get me started on predestination. More hopeful, slightly, from a human standpoint, is the belief that suffering is never unearned. This is probably the most prevalent belief worldwide and informs much of Jewish and Christian theology. It can almost be stated as a law of physics. For every action, there is an opposite reaction. Or we suffer because we are sinners. We have wronged someone or some deity. This belief stands behind the book of Job. Job, however, rails against it, asserting his righteous innocence. Job's friends, however, are equally certain that there must be some darkness in Job's past that would account for his present plight. Much of the history of the Jewish people is interpreted in Hebrew scriptures in this light as well. they claim that often the Israelites sinned against God, and as a result, God allows them to be overrun by some neighboring nation. In theological terms, this is called the retribution dogma. But it is not just in one's present life that this reality resides. It extends after death. In those traditions that believe in a form of reincarnation, how one lives in this life determines how that individual will return in a future life. Mess up too much, and in 100 years, you'll be a sea slug. Behave now, and you may return with a bigger house, a more loving spouse, and silent, obedient children. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam offer a variant of this belief. The righteous go to heaven, the unrighteous catch the down elevator. No second chance. It is this view of the afterlife that we find hinted at in Job and in the Psalm. This view of the afterlife also underlies Paul's correspondence with the Thessalonians. Remain faithful, Paul says, for you will ultimately receive your reward. And it forms the backdrop for the discussion in Luke. The Sadducees argue the absurdity of the resurrection based on their traditional understandings. Jesus points out, however, that it is their understandings that are absurd, not the resurrection. The problem with all of these solutions is that while they may answer the question of suffering, they don't answer the question of the suffering of the innocent. Okay, I can accept my punishment for my sins, but why should everyone else on board the airplane suffer with me? And even if they're sinners as well, what about the numerous children who've been rendered orphans or homeless as a result of wars, earthquakes, or hurricanes? The retribution dogma does not answer that question. It only raises more. Our belief in some kind of fairness doctrine comes under assault. Indeed, our self-importance is attacked. We are the cream of God's creation, the apple of God's eye. The Bible says so. How can we suffer so? Why do we suffer as God's chosen? It seems as if there is no satisfactory answer. And I will confess, I don't propose or suppose to be able to provide one. Suffering is a reality. The Buddha and C-3PO were right. Job's complaints remain valid. We will continue, however, to ask questions about undeserved suffering, as we are a curious, justice-seeking people. I am not convinced, however, that continuing to ask the question about the suffering of innocence is really going to get us anywhere. The real question, it seems to me, is not why, but what next? Or, in light of reality, the inevitability of suffering, how shall we live? If our reason for living, for behaving ethically, isn't simply to avoid this worldly or next worldly punishment, to what do we commit our resources, our lives? Tomorrow, in the church's calendar, is the feast day for St. Martin of Tours. Some of you may know his story. While serving in the military, Martin was confronted by a naked beggar in Amiens, Gaul. Using his sword, he cut his cloak in two and gave half to the beggar in order to help relieve the other man's suffering. In a dream that night, he saw Christ, who said to him, "Martin, a simple catechumen covered me with this garment. He left the military, confident that serving Christ left him no option but to serve others, to work for justice, to alleviate suffering. Tomorrow, in our national calendar, is Remembrance Day, or Veterans Day. We commemorate those who, unlike Martin, chose military service as the way to address the undeserved suffering of others. Those whom we honor today and tomorrow committed themselves to the good of others. We know not all their reasons. Some may have been escaping their own greater suffering. Others may have sought personal glory. But they all accepted hardship, some suffering, as a reality for themselves in order that others' suffering might be lessened. Here, it seems to me, is a major part of the solution to the problem of suffering. That is, our response. The real question is not so much about suffering. We will continue to ask that very human question. The more profound consideration, I believe, is to what we commit ourselves. Suffering is a given. So how do we respond? Jesus worked to alleviate suffering, to bring justice, both in the socio-religious structures he confronted, as well as through his own healing presence. God also, in Jesus' death and resurrection, effectively showed that suffering implied in death is not the final word. So quit worrying about it, God seems to say. If you are committed to me, live out your baptismal covenant, persevere in resisting evil, proclaim the good news, serve Christ in all persons, strive for justice. In short, labor to alleviate the suffering of others. Strive to create a world in which suffering of anyone is minimized. I see a bit of this answer in Job's response to his three comforters, part of which we just heard. Bildad the Shuhite, to whom Job is replying in this section, and his two friends keep hammering away at Job, trying to get him to either A, admit his wrongdoing, which didn't exist, or B, repent of any unknown sins. Job would have none of that argument. But he was faithful enough to say that regardless of his suffering, he would see God as an innocent man. His focus was on what's next. He knew he was going to keep living faithfully. Jesus, in his clever response to the Sadducees, pointed to the same conclusion. Quit arguing over things of the next world, where arguments over how men and women marry are pointless. Focus on what's happening here and now, because God is here now. Even in 2 Thessalonians, where the concerns were about when the resurrection or the second coming might occur, the letter demands attention to the things of this world. Don't be immoral and continue to do your work. We have many examples of people who have lived this model, regardless of how they view any afterlife. May we honor them not only with our words, but also with our lives, going forward to establish God's reign of peace and justice, hopeful that we can make the lives of many less difficult, less sorrowful. May we search our hearts, our scriptures, and our opportunities, and choose those paths where we may make the most difference. You may have heard the old criticism that Christians are too heavenly minded, that we are no earthly good. I trust, as we address the problems of suffering here and now, that critique may not be leveled at us.